I saw my enemy, and I had no hatred for him, nothing, just sympathy. And I agonized over this for months. I talked to all my sergeants, I talked to my chaplain, I even talked to the Korean Army Buddhist chaplain to the extent that I could. And I ultimately decided that there was only one way to resolve my dispute, and that was to take a public stand. So I went to my commander, I turned in my saw, my belt-fed machine gun, and I said, look, I'll stay, I'll do my job, but I won't fight, I won't kill anyone. You can just take this weapon back, because I'm not going to use it. I want to be processed as a conscientious objector. My sergeant took me aside in like this little room. He told me, if you walk that road, it will be the hardest thing you've ever done. They will put you through hell. So make sure that you know this is what you want to do before you do it. The first thing my command did was turn immediately and openly hostile. Their first act was, your ballistic plates in the front and back of your armor, we're going to need those back. Since you're a conscious objector, you won't be fighting, so you don't need any body armor. Then you can't go home on your home leave. Then you're going to have to do all these unpleasant jobs, and everybody's going to treat you badly. And we told everyone in the company, we briefed the whole company that you're trying to become a conscious objector so that they can exert more peer pressure on you. They saw me as the enemy. They saw me as a traitor. They saw me as a sympathizer. They didn't want anything to do with me. And the only guys who stayed tight with me were the guys in my motor pool, the fellow mechanics who I worked with every day, who had seen me struggling with this, who'd seen me agonizing. They knew I was sincere. They knew I wasn't a coward. They knew I wasn't trying to get out of it. They knew that I couldn't kill anyone. And they are still my good friends to this day. But everybody else in my unit turned their back on me. And when I perceived this hostility coming from the command, that's when I became just absolutely adamant that, like, no, you're trying to break me. You don't know who you're dealing with. I'm going to break you. And I'm going to win this.
When one applies for conscientious objector status, there is a regulation that fully guides a soldier through the process. The soldier makes a formal application to his chain of command requesting conscientious objector status. The soldier has a burden of proof. The soldier has to prove that the beliefs are genuine, that the beliefs are real, that the beliefs crystallized after the soldier came on active duty. The soldier is interviewed by the chain of command, by a chaplain, by a person through mental health, and they compile a complete application documenting their beliefs and why they think they should be a conscientious objector. An independent investigating officer is appointed, then the entire packet has to go through the chain of command and is ultimately reviewed by a board of officers at Headquarters Department of the Army. And then ultimately a decision is made whether or not the soldier is a conscientious objector.
If you are to become a conscious objector by the current Army guidelines, you must state a moral opposition to all war. That's in the regulations. You cannot pick and choose which wars you will serve in and which wars you will not serve in. But ultimately, the conscious objector regulation is the government's way of recognizing that a spiritual contract trumps a legal contract, and that it's more important that someone be true to themselves or true to their highest beliefs than uphold their contract with the government.
We all raised our right hand. Okay, that's the bottom line right there. That's what separates us from a civilian. We raise our right hand. And if you can't honor that, you may not like what you're doing in the military. But if they give you an order to do something, even if you don't like it, you got to do it. You know, you swore to defend this Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. You raised your right hand. You took an oath. And you know, that oath, to me, is written in the blood of millions of Americans in the past, even today. They all gave that ultimate sacrifice.
I am a conscious objector. And the fact is, I am more a patriot now than when I was carrying a gun in Iraq, by far. In our normal life, it's so easy to forget about the Iraq War. But the fact is, there are people dying in Iraq right now while we're talking. So I'm speaking out in memoriam for them.
Detail.
Both the Iraqis and American soldiers who died. That's part of my witness of being a conscious objector.